All right, all right, all right. Greetings, greetings, y'all. Greetings, greetings, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I know it's super late. I know it's super late, but you know what I said? I have to show up, not just for myself, for this channel and for y'all. Okay? So we're not trying to skip days if we can avoid it, right? Excuse me. Not trying to skip days if we can avoid it. Y'all, I came in the house. For me, it was kind of late. It was after 9 p.m. to be having F Your Feelings Friday. You know, normally I try to start F Your Feelings Friday at least by 8 p.m., 8:30 at the latest. What's good, Black Dot LaFleur? Glad to see you in the building. Thank you so much for letting me know that. Um, y'all, I really wanted to have F Your Feelings Friday planned out, but I don't have it planned out, so I'm just going to talk to y'all, okay? Is that all right? Can I get an amen? Can I get a witness? Somebody let me know if it's all right. So, yeah, I was just going to talk to y'all. I don't have a set topic, but I do want to talk about something that I feel is important. Thank you. But like that, we up in church tonight. Hey. I do want to talk about something that I feel is important, and that's safety, particularly for these females out here, y'all. I came across two melanated ladies not that long ago. And the reason that I'm telling this story is because, I've been watching those crime shows, which my mother told me not to watch them. But you'll be surprised how many people get attacked by people they know, their own family members, y'all. It is complete and utter nonsense out here. I don't know if I can share. Ooh, because if I could share this video with y'all from this crime series, I would. I don't know if it's going to work though, because I don't think I'm on the right browser. How this lady was working at the Chase Bank, y'all, and got this man for $50,000. How about his daughter and his grandson ended up DEAD? Her husband took them out, all to cover up her crime. It's scary out here. It is scary. It says allow you to see your screen. Let me see. How do I want to do this? I don't know. If it's I don't think it's gonna work. Let me just stop sharing because I don't think it's gonna work right now, y'all. Sorry about this, y'all. Yeah, it's not gonna work out the way that I wanted to. So stop sharing. Thank you. Yeah, man. Black Dot LaFleur. I'm gonna have to come back on here and play it for y'all so y'all can see what actually happened. But yeah, they took that man for 50,000. He was an elderly Caucasian guy. And y'all, the way they did it is she hired someone, and the guy, she was supposed to pay him money, so she gave him some money, but he never showed up to do the job. So her husband stepped in and did the job. They started questioning what was going on with this guy's money. The daughter was questioning what's going on with my father's money. Why is this money missing out of his account? Well, this lady, and she was like a Middle Eastern woman too. This Middle Eastern woman was his banker. And she had gotten written up from at work because she authorized these two checks, $25,000 each. And then she turned around and deposited the checks into her son's name, which her son is like a minor child, right? Gruesome, gruesome, gruesome. Y'all, like I said, when I'm on the right browser, we need to come on here and talk about it because people are taking people out for little less of anything. $50,000 is not worth your life. It's not worth your freedom. What ended up happening at the end of it all, once the investigation was conducted, her husband went to jail for life. She went to jail, but don't you, this is the messed up part about it. I feel like they give women, I feel like they give females the benefit of the doubt when they are involved in the crime, because she physically wrote these checks and had this stuff done. And I don't think that's right. She did have a son, so maybe they are taking that into account. But this older gentleman had a grandson and a daughter that he'll never see again. It's sad what's going on out here. So then I watched another one. This woman allowed her cousin to come stay with her. The cousin already had a girlfriend that ended up DEAD on the side of a road, right? He came up as a suspect. I don't know why. She thought it was a good idea to let him stay at her place because she came up MIA, y'all. They found her in a field. Guess who the primary suspect was, y'all? Ding, 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 ding. Her very own cousin. This guy was driving her Honda Accord. They put up cameras. Um, they tried to pull him over. He didn't want to pull over. Went on a high speed pursuit. Claimed that it wasn't him. Said the cartel made him. Yeah, greed is something else. Said the cartel had him to dig a grave and shot him in the chest, but he had on a bulletproof vest. I mean, he had the most elaborate story for these people, y'all. Guess who ended up going to jail? He did. He did. It's not worth it. It's a lot of desperate people out here, desperate monsters. So that's what I want to talk about with women, females, ladies, and gentlemen. You can listen in because from what I'm understanding, females are out here setting up guys. Hey, Calais, Jerome, how you doing? From what I understand, females are out here setting up guys, so they need to be careful too. All right, because I know someone personally that told me that they were in a hotel room with a female, got a knock on the door, got ROBBED, okay, got robbed. Right? They were rake it up, back it up, back it up. Yeah, so stop falling for these females, y'all, because they do set people up. So let me tell you, I met these two melanated females earlier. He said, "Gotta be careful. I've had a woman try to set me up in the past." What? Are you, how did you know she was trying to set you up? How did you find out? That's crazy and it's scary. So just, oh, let me tell y'all this. I was just at the gas station earlier. Okay, I just gotta get this all out, y'all. I want to say to my ladies in particular, please, if it's approaching the edge of dark, try to get your gas before it gets dark because it's a lot of energies and spirits lurking around at these gas stations. And let me tell you something. I just left the gas station because I desperately needed gas. Something told me, do not go home with the car on E. And ladies, I'm going to tell y'all the same thing. Do not go home with your car on E. And the reason I say that is because I told one of my colleagues the same thing because she used to do this. She used to go home with the car on E, didn't have gas and all types of stuff. I says, at least put a quarter of a tank. I don't care if it's $5 or $10, whatever you can dig up. Put something in that gas tank, but don't go home with no gas in your tank because my whole theory for this is you never know what might happen throughout the night and you have to escape. And then what happens if you're trying to go somewhere and you run out of gas? What if, the perpetrator could be following you? You just never know why you need to leave out the house and you need gas in your vehicle. With all that being said, you said good girl. Hold on, let me see. The guy that she tried to have rob me ended up being an old friend of mine, and he told me, oh my gosh, are you freaking serious? Are you serious? Yeah, that's facts. I tell the women in my family the same. I wouldn't even let my woman stop for gas at all, day or night. You said that's true, Calais? Especially here in Houston, man, look, it doesn't even matter where you are, but I know Houston is a major big city, so it's a lot of energy lurking around there at night. But I just left the gas station because something said, don't go home with the car on E. because I desperately needed gas. So I pulled over to the gas station, and already, like, I'm very observative. So I'm scoping the scene, what gas pump, like, I literally think about this when I pull up into the gas station. I try to pull to a gas pump that I know that is an easy out if I need to make a smooth getaway. I don't like to be backed into it like a gas pump where I have to try to back out. I like to be at the first one where I can just hurry up and pull out, right? Because you just never know. Things go down at gas stations, y'all. So I'm always thinking about that, and I'm cognizant of it. Also, very cognizant of who is on the other side of that gas pump. So I was going to pull to the first gas pump, but the reason I didn't is because I saw this guy standing at the gas pump, and my spirit and my energy already said, this guy is going to try to talk to you, because he looked at me and I saw him look at me, and I was like, mm-mm, I'm not in the mood for it, right? So I back up, I pull over to the pump, get my stuff together. I get out the car, right? And remember, always lock your door. I don't care if you're just running in that gas station for 2 seconds. Always lock your door, ladies. And I'm gonna tell you something that one of the lenders told me. This she's a female. She told me one day she got into her vehicle. I think she was driving an SUV, and when she got inside, some man popped up from the back seat, almost scared her to death. He just wanted a ride up the road. So since then, she always checks her back seats, and make sure no one is in the vehicle with her. Y'all, that's got to be the most scariest thing ever. So, with that being said, just be careful. Always keep your doors locked. I don't care if you're running in and out for a hot second. Lock those doors. Don't keep that car running, especially don't keep that car running with the ignition on and the keys in the ignition. Or a lot of cars are keyless now, but don't keep the car running, because you can take the key out and the car can still be on. Don't even do that. Um, I'm going to finish telling y'all what happened this evening. You're a smart woman, always have to be aware of your surroundings. You do. And what the HY, he just jumped in the back seat though? That's wild. Yeah. So he must have gotten in her car, because she must have left her car door unlocked. I think she might have gone inside, came back out, and people are crazy, y'all. But she was very fortunate and lucky that nothing happened to her. So she told me that story, and so just be careful. I pulled to the gas station. The guy looking at me, I looked at him, and then I tried to break eye contact because I didn't want him to think that I wanted his attention. So I get my stuff. I'm walking, from the car. I'm about to go into the gas station. How about he stops me in my tracks? I knew it was coming, y'all. I knew it was freaking coming. So he had to find something to say to me, right? So he says, "Oh, nice parking or something." And like he just wanted to say something to me, so that's the best that he could come up with was nice parking. So, of course, me, and this is another thing that I know about females, we don't like to be mean, or we don't want to be rude to people. So a lot of times we try to be nice to people, and so I'm like, oh, thank you, or whatever. So I got, my stuff in my hand and my phones or whatever. So I'm, on my way into the gas station. So then this is what he says. Um, Let me pay for your gas. He was like, no strings attached. Let me just pay for your gas. I just want to, I'll put some gas in your car. I said, you would? And I just looked at him like, really? Because you don't even know me. But this has happened to me before, y'all. This has happened to me before. Hold on. Let me see what y'all are saying. You said that's very scary because could have just asked for a ride. Right. Thanks to Jesus. Yeah, I'm grateful that she's okay. Yeah, she's okay, y'all. So he offers to pay for the gas. You said no strings attached. Yeah, right. Exactly, Black Dot LaFleur. See, guys. Guys. He's an older guy, like middle-aged guy. So I'm looking, how like you kind of like scan a person. So I'm looking at him. I'm like, this is weird. This is strange. You want to pay for my gas? All right. I've had my gas paid for before. I've, And I don't like to take advantage of people. I don't go and ask anybody to do anything for me, especially a stranger, like especially monetary stuff, because you just don't. This is another thing I want to tell females: don't be accepting stuff from guys, because it's just that they will take it a certain way and feel that you owe them something a lot of times. So if you can avoid it, just avoid it. But yeah, so he offered to pay for the gas. So he was like, yeah, he pulls out his debit card, y'all. He was like, yeah, I got it right here, right now. So he starts walking over to the gas pump and he takes the card and he swipes his card. He was like, oh, right here, right here. Cause I was about to walk in the store. So he goes ahead and swipes his card at the gas pump, and it was as he put his PIN number in and everything. So the thing now is beeping. It's like, oh, for it to work, you have to pick the gas that you want. So I was telling him which one it was. So I was like, this one. So I pushed it on the screen. So he just lets the thing run. He doesn't even check to see how much it is. He's just letting it run. So I kind of like looked down, at his shoes or whatever. Like I was kind of looking at him or whatever. So he was like, oh, you looking at these shoes? These are $800 shoes you looking at. So I was like, okay. I said, really, I wasn't paying attention to the shoes like that. I said, but thank you for telling me. So then he was like, telling me something about he caught a Uber out here or something. So it was a female with him in the other vehicle, like in this like SUV or whatever. So I heard her yell something out the window. So I'm thinking like I'm not trying to get caught up with anything that's going on. I'm like, who is that? You got someone with you? Like, what's going on? Oh yeah, that's just my what did he say? That's just my I don't know, he might have said my homegirl or something. So she's kind of yelling something out the window at him. So I'm like, I'm not trying to get involved in anything like overstepping any boundaries because he's steady, pumping gas. He said, I'll pay and I'll pump. That's what he said this. I didn't ask for this. So he's, got the gas pumping and everything, talking to me. So, then he says something about, no, that's not my Uber. He was like, yeah, my BMW is at my house. So he's saying these things so I can listen and hear it. So I'm like, okay. So then, he starts asking me questions talking about what you doing out here getting gas by yourself. And I'm just like, I said, because I needed gas. I mean, why else would I be at the gas station, right? So you know what he was trying to get at, right? Trying to see if I'm with someone. You got a man, are you married? Then he tries to say, oh yeah, I'm not, I don't want to be all up, asking you all these questions. You say it's the you see the $800 shoes for me. Black Dot Flair. They were all red patent leather ones, and he had on red socks to match. So anyway, I'm looking at this guy and I'm just like, okay, this is a very different situation to be in, because I've been approached at the gas station before. Then the female, she ends up stepping out the vehicle, right? So she comes over there where we are at talking. Well, before she even steps out, she's in the driver's side. She yells out the window, yeah, he wants to holler at you and he wants to get your number too. I'm just like, this is a weird interaction. Like, who is this female, right? So the next thing I know, she gets out the car, she walks over to where we're at. So she's looking at me, and then she's very like open and free, nice looking woman. And I'm just thinking to myself, I asked him, I said, who is this? She's pretty or whatever, light skinned girl or whatever, kind of young. And he was like, oh, it's just my homegirl or whatever. So then she starts asking me questions, like being very direct, like, um, do you have a man? Because I think he wants your number because you're kind of acting like you do. And then she was like, you can just give me your number. I said, what? Like, she said, we trying to have some fun. We trying to get the party started. I was like, what type of party are y'all trying to get started? That's what I want to know. I don't know what they had going on, y'all. That's how I felt. Like y'all are trying to recruit me at the gas station over a full tank of gas. She was like, yeah, so what you gonna do? He just put a full tank of gas in your vehicle. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, I feel like y'all pressuring me. So I was like, I said, what is this? I said, 2 on 1. I said, I feel like I'm being interrogated at the gas pump. So then I looked at her, I was like, how old are you? She was like 36. So then she looks at me, he looks at me, they're like, how old are you? And I said, well, I asked y'all first because I asked him too, how old was he, right? Of course, he was like a middle aged or whatever. So I'm trying to put it together in my head. She's 36. He told me he has a son in college that's like, what did he say? He's in college between 19 or 22. So I'm like, well, congratulations. That's real good. He said, I don't have nothing. I ain't got nothing, no wife, no none of that. He was like, I got a son, he's in college. He did tell me this. He told me he was from Florida, y'all. Watch out for those Florida boys. Excuse me. They're very cunning, okay? Then he told me what county he was from. I said, so you're from Florida? I said, but you're from such and such. He said, what? No, he said, no, I told you I live up north, like the north part of the city or whatever. I said, okay. I said, so you caught an Uber here? Because I was trying to piece together like the story that he was telling me in my head or whatever, entertaining him as the pump is running, y'all, trying to keep the conversation going as the pump is running, and then not trying to give up too much information. Ladies, this is where this comes in handy. Do not give out your real number to these guys, okay? We already know that, but now what they're doing at the gas pump and in your face, they will. All right, so what I tried to do, I tried to be slick. So I was like, oh, she looked at me. She was like, oh, you got two phones. I said, yes, one for business, right? So I go ahead and open the phone, going to my phone, like I'm putting his contact in. I said, and what's your name? How do you spell your name? So he gives me his number. I said, oh, okay. I see what area code you have. So he puts it in there. Oh, of course, he's talking about, yeah, call me, right? So I'm thinking in my head, okay. So then of course, this is what they do to check. Yeah, call me right now so I can make sure I got yours. Go ahead and call me now. So they do that on the spot to make sure you're giving them a number. But y'all, this is why you need to have about 3 or 4 different numbers, okay? Never give them your real number that's connected to anything to you in your name. I am so serious because it's a lot of information you can pull on a person, right? So of course, he didn't get my real number. Okay. He got this other number. So he got the other number, right? So I put it in there. I dial it. I said, is it ringing? Is it ringing? Yeah, I got you. I got you. I said, okay. So then here she goes, the female. She's standing there looking at me. Um, what you getting into tonight? I said, tonight? Y'all, I put up the gas station not expecting all of this. Like she was trying to make plans with me on the spot. So I'm looking at her, I'm like, what y'all got going on? She said, nah, she was like, my man is at home by himself. I said, you left your man at home by himself and y'all are out here? Like, what are y'all doing? Well, he was at home and something, 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 she said. I'm just thinking this whole interaction is weird. And I'm like, they are not about to recruit me into whatever they got going on. How in the world? Yeah, very strange interaction. You're gonna meet a random stranger talking about what you got going on tonight. We trying to get the party started. It's Friday night. I know what night it is. I know the day of the week it is. And then he's looking at, okay, so y'all, today, let me show you what I wore today. So I print these clothes. I got on my beautiful dress today, right? So he's looking at me talking about, yeah, you see, because I just first of all, he asked me what was my name, so I gave him my alias, right? Never give your real name. We all know that. So I gave him my alias name. So then he asked me what my name was again. I said, I already told you. I was like, so you forgot that fast? So this is how you know he's a liar, y'all. Oh no, I just want to hear you say it because you got beautiful on, and you are beautiful. You got some beautiful lips, and I just want to hear it flow out of from your lips. So you're staring at my lips at the gas station? Like, do I have to talk like this? Because I don't want them looking at my lips, y'all, fantasizing about my, like, no. So I'm smiling or whatever, trying to play it off. So then she's looking at me and she's like, you sure you don't have a man? Because I mean, your body language says that you kind of do, the way that you are. Your body language is. And so I didn't say yes or no, because it's none of their business. Like, y'all just met me and y'all are interrogating me at the gas pump. Keep in mind now, he filled the tank all the way the freak up, and I let him do it. I let him do it because I didn't ask him to come over there invading my space. I was about to go inside and pay for the gas myself. He insisted, right? So he says all of that. They're talking. Then this is what he says. Something about, yeah, it's my birthday. He says that today is his birthday. I said, your birthday today? I said, so you're a Leo. He acted like he didn't really know. And then he was like caught off guard with that. So she was standing up there. So then it was told to me that he was like, my birthday in October. But he did say this. He says two things I don't do: that I don't lie and I don't steal. So he just told a lie, because you told me your birthday was July the 31st. And she told him, she said, we are in Leo season, because he acted like he didn't know what that was. Yeah, we're in Leo season right now. So he gonna tell me his birthday is in October. So why are you telling me? Yes, Black Dot LaFleur. Very strange interaction. He's a capper. I think so too. Because I was looking at the vehicle they were in. Why was she driving in the driver's seat? And I'm not talking about anybody's mode of transportation, but it wasn't, you talking about you got on $800 shoes and you filling my gas tank up. Oh, and then he said, he didn't care if I had a man or not, because he could still take me out to eat. He was like, and I don't go to anything but by high end, top dollar. I don't do anything less than that. He was like, I like rooftops. I said, oh yeah, I do too. So then she was like, so I mean, your man must not be treating you all that good, because you sound like you entertaining it, like you kind of interested. So I'm just looking at this girl like, if y'all don't get out of my face, because I'm trying to go get me something to eat. I'm hungry now, right? And I gotta go home. So I guess at that point he was like, yeah, make sure you call me. He said, I ain't gonna call you, you call me. I said, all right, okay. So, I guess he was like, he didn't want to be too invasive. So I got in the vehicle, I pulled up, but I also want to tell women to make sure that you're not being followed. Okay. Because I was looking like in the mirror, I was looking around, I checked my surroundings. I didn't go straight to the house, but I wanted to make sure I was not being followed. Okay. Because you just never know nowadays with people. So just be real careful. Um, Went to go get something to eat. And while I'm at the drive-through line, the phone rings. Guess who it was? And at that particular time, I'm about to give my order, right? So I got the phone in my hand. I answered because I didn't want him to think that, oh yeah, I just filled her tank up and now she's not answering. Because I got the mindset to block them, right? But I was like, let me not do that, just in case they might be in the vicinity or the area and they're watching me or something. So I answered and I said, hello. I was like, let me call you straight back. Let me call you straight back. Cause I really did have to place my order. Like the girl, she was like right at my vehicle to take the order. So I was like, I am not obligated to be talking, because first of all, you said that you were not going to call me. You said, I'm gonna let you call me. I'm gonna let you call me. Okay, but that you ended up calling me. You said it was no strings attached. Apparently it was a string attached, because then you talking about, oh, I could take you out to eat. And then on top of it, you told me your birthday was today. Come to find out is in October. You see the stuff, you see what I'm saying? I don't know who this girl was. I don't know what type of situation they had going on, but something was up. And I think they were looking for somebody that was, I want to say, naive, maybe vulnerable, unsuspecting, easy to trick. But y'all, not I said the duck. So yeah, ladies, be careful. Now, let me give you another scenario. I met these two young middle-aged ladies, okay, today. Thank you, Black Dot LaFleur. I met these two ladies earlier today, and I think one said she was 55, the other one was in her 50s or whatever. So they tell me this story about how they're supposed to meet some man on a farm. Now, I thought they were joking, and I really wasn't paying attention to what they were saying at first. But then the more we got into involved in our conversations, one thing leads to another. And I was telling them, like, yeah, for my birthday, I said I wanted to go horseback riding or whatever. So they said, yeah, that's what we about to go do. And so one of those ladies, it was two of them. She was like, "No, I'm not about to do it. You gonna do it or whatever." So yeah, Kaylee, thank you. So she was like, yeah, something about a farm. I said, y'all really are about to go to a farm for real? So she was like, yeah. So I was like, okay. So they tell me that they like younger guys or whatever. Okay, nothing wrong with that, but you got to be careful with younger guys and younger dudes because they are not very forthcoming either. Okay, you just got to be careful with everybody, really. So they were supposed to meet this guy, and he's supposed to be 45 minutes away from them, way out there, y'all, way out there. So then I'm like, I said, well, it's almost the edge of dark. I was like, so that means I said I wouldn't, for me, like I probably wouldn't go that far to meet somebody for the first time on the edge of dark. And you said y'all going to a farm. So I was like, are other people gonna be at this farm? So she was like, yeah, his brother. I said, his brother. She was like, oh, well, maybe he's trying to set somebody up. I'm just like, you know what? I just feel like, because I remember when I had to go, I was supposed to go show a house to this guy, and it was this remote area in the middle of the day. He was like he wanted me to meet him at this remote location. And I had already shown like two properties to him before. The first time I felt leery about him, so I wouldn't let him get close to me because it was kind of like in a rural area. And then it was like a barn and it was like a shed, and I wouldn't go in the shed. I let him go in there and I stood back. So the second time I met him on the property was other people out there. Is a wide open area. The third time I scheduled with him, and then at the last minute when I was supposed to meet him, he told me that his brother was coming. So that made me like get an alert. Like an alert to me was like I didn't feel right. So I started asking, people to go. And so somebody was like, nah, F that, don't go, cancel it. So I did. I canceled on him. I was like, look, I said I can't make it. I said, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to cancel because I was like, my husband got caught a flat tire and I gotta go pick him up. So and I had the phone so he could hear the other person talking on the other end or whatever. And he was like, man, but like we're already here, we're almost there. I said, I'm so sorry, y'all. I never reached back out to that guy. I just had a funny feeling about him. Don't you know he found me on Facebook and started following me on Facebook? You just got to be careful. Y'all laughing at me. But oh, getting back to these two women, right? So one of the women was like, oh, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, like that. I said, I tell you what, I was like, you got his phone number? I said, give me his phone number. I was like, let me do a little bit of investigation. So I confirmed his name, I confirmed his age. We pulled up some information on him and I showed it to them. I was like, I said he had possession of cocaine, like, and that was, and I might still, hold on, let me see, where's my other phone? Hold on, I'm gonna tell you what it is because it still might be pulled up. Hold on, y'all. Let's see if I can find it. I don't know if it timed out already, but I had it on my phone. Let's see if it'll still show me the information. But I don't know if it will. Anyway, I took a screenshot of his information so I could have it. But it was possession of cocaine, and that was like in August of 2021 or something like that. He also had possession, like an ounce of Mary Jane. He had 22 infractions. That doesn't really mean much because it could be, traffic violations and stuff like that. He had something for last month. I don't know what it was because it wasn't showing exactly what it was. Some of the stuff wouldn't show me what it was. He had assault on a female. He had communicating threats that was on there multiple times. Assault on a female was on there multiple times. So I said, I don't know if this is the same charge or if it's different ones, but I let her know what it was. I let her know from one female to the next. I said, I will do this for you because I feel like sometimes women put themselves in situations they don't have to be in. So her friend was like, yeah, that's why I'm going with her. That's why I'm going with her so she don't go by herself. And I'm like, I said, y'all got that heat on you, right? Y'all got that stuff on you, right? She was like, I got some mace. I said, mace? I said, no, the heat. I said, y'all got it, right? I was invited to go out to this event in the country this weekend. Just know I will not be attending 100%. I got a funny feeling too about it for real. Oh no, not the cocoa. Yeah, I'm in love with the cocoa. Hey. Yeah. So that's what I saw. So when I was telling her that, like she and y'all, these women, they looked so youthful and young. Like you would think that they were in their probably late 30s, maybe early 40s, but they looked young and youthful, and they said they like younger men. So I don't know, but anyway, I saw the dude. I ended up seeing who it was. So she was like, get a look at my face. And the other friend was like, look at my face. I said, I got y'all. I got y'all. And I saw what he looked like. I saw what he was driving and everything. So they were about to get in the, and he had this big pickup truck, like the thing sit up high, big black pickup truck. So y'all, I was just thinking about these women, thinking about these ladies, and I'm like, I really hope they be safe tonight. I hope that they're okay. And I meant to tell them to share their location with someone. Because one of the women, she was lying on the phone to her male friend, talking about this female invited them out. And so the male counterpart was like, oh, well, you need to be back in the house by 10:30. Because I guess they're kind of like talking or whatever. Yeah, it's just a lot. Her husband died. The other one was saying she's not married. I don't think they want to be married anymore. Whatever the case is, they're single. But it's, you say I'm 38, but I don't look it. Okay, better get a pistol. My sisters keep a 22 in her purse. Yeah, keep something with y'all, because you just can never put anything past these guys. And I know, like one of them was getting in the back with him, so he had opened the door, and one of them was like, "You're not gonna kidnap us, are you?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, don't do that, don't do that." He was like laughing and joking. So he opened the door so she could get in the back. She's like, "Why I gotta get back here?" So that's the last, that I saw of them. In the truck, I saw it. It took off and went down the road or whatever. Um, it was very interesting. But also, too, I told them, I was like, look, you always want to be in charge of your mode of transportation, because one of the friends was saying she does not drive. The other one was saying she drives, but she didn't want to drive that long distance. So I'm like, you don't want to leave your transportation in the hands of a guy, right? Because if you really want to leave, you need to be able to leave. You don't need to be trying to wait for a ride or have him take you somewhere. And then what if he doesn't want to take you back? Because I've heard stories of where guys have left females like stranded, like they don't care, y'all. In real life scenario, it's a YouTuber, beautiful YouTuber. She was talking about how this guy kicked her out of his hotel room. They didn't do anything. It was like they had an event and stuff, and she shouldn't have really been in his hotel, and she didn't know him. There's a bunch of dudes like by herself like that. I don't know. She was young back then, but she was giving the story time about how she didn't want to be intimate with him for hanging out with him, because that's what he was expecting, because he kept her company that day because her friends ditched her. So as a result of that, he got an attitude and told her that she needed to leave. So she couldn't wait. He didn't want her to wait inside of his hotel. He told her to leave and kicked her out. So she had to wait for her Uber to get there or whatever. And I'm like, so women, females, just always have your own mode of transportation when you're meeting these guys or whoever. Hopefully they are okay. I really hope they are okay. Like I started to try to give him, I started to be like, should I give him my number or something and just like text me or call me and let me know you made it back okay? Like share your location with me or give him one of my business flyers or something. Cause I don't know if they were thinking this thing all the way through, y'all. Like it's a Friday night. Y'all about to go there on the verge of darkness. The verge of darkness. Like if you want to take somebody, oh, and something about he had horses. That's what they said. And so yeah, they were supposed to go see some horses or something. I'm like, well, they got plenty of horses in other places, but I guess he has a farm. I don't know, y'all. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't, especially if this your first time meeting up with someone. You're about to go way out of your way to meet this person and go to their area, and I probably wouldn't. And then and oh, and I asked them, I was like, because they were asking me, was I from here? And so I was telling them, I said, well, I've been here for a while or whatever. So they are freshly new. Like they've only one of them has only been here for a few months. So I'm like, so they probably really don't know the area like that. So I was just trying to tell them the location 45 minutes away where that is, because they probably don't know, because they're like, that's way out there, and they didn't want to take that ride. I'm like, yeah. I was like, but I told them like this. I said, you always want to be in control of your own mode of transportation, no matter where you go. Even with females, like even if it's all females, like sometimes you can't trust them either. Because what if something goes awry with those females? Y'all get into it, you roll with them. Now you can't ride back with them. Like they'll leave you stranded. So this is my message to women out there. Please be careful out here. Like, really be careful. I had a friend, and she used to like, she would be like, if it was any dudes, she'd be like, send me a picture of their tags, send it to my phone. She would even go so far as to try to see what they look like, take a picture of them on the slide, or be like, tell me where you're located, because I don't care if you're 2 hours away, I'm gonna pull up. Seriously, she was doing stuff like that. But yeah, people are crazy. And I think she went through something with her mother. She told me something about she was messing with this guy, and I don't recall what happened. Something happened where I don't know if he ended up attacking her mother or something. He did something crazy. So maybe that's why she was like that. He said she's trying to keep you safe. We don't talk anymore. She's in a whole different state. But yeah, I appreciate that. And like my colleague that's here, like whenever I'll be out, like I would share my location with her, share my location just with different people, or I'll text someone and be like, if I'm going to show a house, this is the location that I'm going to be at, in case someone can't go with you. Like just be very cognizant, y'all, because there's so much going on out here, and you just can't trust anybody. You can't trust anybody. So, to the ladies out there, please be careful. That's the best thing I can tell you. Please be careful. It's a lot of melanated women that come up missing. Um, they just beautiful, young. I mean, there's so many stories out there that these girls are like haven't really got a chance to have a real adulthood, just coming out of high school, just going into college, and they look for the nice looking attractive girls. That's who they flock to. So you really have to be careful, because people, they're crazy, y'all. They're so crazy. Y'all, you probably can see it in my eyes. My eyes are tired. I've been out all day, but I wanted to have that conversation with y'all, and the men too. Be careful with these females. If you feel like she has, weird vibes about her, don't be so trusting of the female. Don't be going to her house, thinking about one thing, not thinking with your brain. You know how males are, they're animalistic. So they can get caught up. They really can, because females will set him up, and you don't want to always let a female know all this money you got, you balling out of control. Why would you want her to know this? You don't know her, so you don't have to lead with that, right? I think that's important to say that. Y'all, yeah, but we've been on here for 45 minutes. Well, 44, 47, 44, 44, almost 45 minutes, y'all. I just wanted to talk to y'all. I wanted to say hi to y'all because, I know I came on here late. F Your Feelings Friday is here, it's in effect. I will try my best to come on here as much as I can, y'all. I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody that has supported the channel. For the people that don't know it, I have a clothing brand called BGAB Clothing. I hope that you check that out. You can see some of my stuff on my Instagram, BGAB underscore TV, or Brown Girls Are Beautiful. Also, I have a website, bgabclothing.com. And I still think I need to reset my site because I don't think it's working right now. So, gotta update that. But yeah, definitely be careful out here, and just don't meet up with people without telling somebody where you're going to be. Share your location. They don't have to know what you're doing. You can, like she did, she brought her friend with her, but like I still feel like they should have had a gun with them. That's just how I feel. Because what is Mace going to do against him? And if he has a brother or whoever's going to be at this farm, I don't know. I don't know who's there. It's just a farm on the edge of dark. Like I could see if y'all met at like a public place, on a Friday night, but to me that's too much seclusion. The area where they had to be at, y'all, it was too secluded. It was too far out there. So mm-mm. I was like, that's 45 minutes away. From the city. You got to think about stuff like that. So when we started talking about it, I think maybe they started thinking about it, and but they're grown, you know what I'm saying? They both have grown adult children. Well, one of them has a 14-year-old, the other one has, I think, a 22-year-old. Doesn't matter whether you have children or not. You need to be thinking about your life and putting your safety first. Safety first, ladies. Safety always first. Another thing, too, um, keys. Let's talk about car keys. Don't always keep your car keys where people think you're going to keep them. Most people like to put their car keys and hang them up on the little thing that says keys. I feel like if someone comes in your house, an intruder, an invader, if they want to get your keys and you can't leave, and get in your car and go, they're going to look right there on that key rack and take your keys. So don't always keep your keys there, or either have a separate set hidden somewhere. You just got to think about all types of stuff, y'all. All types of stuff. Of course, everybody has cameras. Um, what else can I think about telling y'all? Um, Never take what these guys tell you at face value because you can't trust them anymore. Um, Listen to the things they don't say. Listen to how they word stuff, because a lot of stuff is in the wordplay, and they know how to be really slick about stuff, ladies. Really slick. What else? If y'all can think of anything, type it in the chat section because we need to spread the message, y'all. I really, really want us to be safe out here. But most importantly, be aware of your surroundings. Try to have a good rapport with your neighbors if you can, so that your neighbors can, be on the lookout if something doesn't seem right. Um, I know one of my neighbors had contacted me because I was away and I had left my garage door up. And this has happened to me several times where I left my garage door up all freaking day. Luckily, nothing has ever happened. But still, so what I did, I took an extra measure. I already have the app on my phone where I can open and close it at any given time. All I have to do is check and see, is it open? How long has it been open? What time did it close? I can check that. But I have gotten so busy, so caught up in my day that I forgot about it. I thought it closed because there's a little sensor. And if you think that it's shut, it'll go all the way down. If that sensor gets triggered, it comes back up and then it's up for the rest of the day. So I set times that my garage door is supposed to close, right? If it's not shut by this time, then it's going to close at this time. I also inserted another video camera. So now I can see if it's shut or closed, but also I can look at my app. You have to take these getting late good night by. Okay, Kaylee, you have to take these extra steps and these extra measures, y'all. You know what I mean? So just whatever you have to do for yourself, ladies, I want you to protect yourselves. Please do it. Please. If you get a funny feeling about someone, don't worry about second guessing yourself. Just go with your gut instinct, what your gut is telling you. Don't second guess it. Okay? And good for you, Black Dot LaFleur. If you got a weird feeling about something, don't even attend it because that's your higher self, your higher spiritual being talking to you. All right? So I hope y'all have enjoyed. We've been on here for 50 minutes. Thank y'all so much. Please consider subscribing, consider liking, consider whatever it is. Share if you care, hyping the video, whatever we can do over here. I'm still trying to grow this channel. Y'all, I am a few subscribers away from hitting 1,000 finally. If only y'all knew how long I've had this channel and I've been working on it. Um, so we're 4 subscribers away. But if I can get at least 10 to 15 more, I will feel great. And I'll try to do something special for our 1,000 subscriber count. That would be wonderful. All right. But anyway, y'all, this was just a real conversation from yours truly. Brown Girls Are Beautiful herself. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Remember to always walk in your divinity. And y'all stay safe out there and stay elevated, y'all. I'll be back on here some other time. Y'all have a good night. Haben Sie alles einen guten Nacht. It is now 11:37 p.m. So we're going to sign on out of here, y'all. Until next time, y'all stay safe. Gute Nacht, y'all. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.